They're not hearing you because they're so full of the stuff that's been suppressed, pushed down, whatever, right? And so the emptying out process allows them to be seen, be heard, be validated, and to get all of that stuff out on the table so that the parent and the child both can examine it and deal with it in whatever fashion that needs to happen, right? And so what parent listening to this podcast episode hasn't dealt with retaliation, rebellion, and resistance, right? I mean, my parents were, I probably was involved in all three of those, right? And there was a lot of passive aggressive behavior on my part because my dad was really heavy handed. And so I learned at a very young age to stay off his radar, right? Because, he had no
Absolutely.
problems kicking my butt, literally. So,
Exactly. Well,
so
I love this previous guest who used this emptying out process. I completely concur. And so if you find yourself in the midst of the three R's and you recognize that in spite of your best efforts, you may have experienced a way of communicating that has brought about and activated the three R's, that you can now look at the harvest and say, I don't want this harvest. What can I
right,
do to change my harvest? And what I would recommend, much like this previous guest, is, connection over correction, connection over explaining oneself. Because I think parents have always, I believe, really gone into all of their decisions with the best of intentions. We know the road
sure.
is paved with good intentions. And so it's never about the fact that people have wanted to do their best or the fact that they love their kids. Absolutely. It's a skills deficit, a little bit of being like, I feel like parents haven't been really exposed to great communication skills.
Right.
And it's hard to find them modeled in families. It's hard to find them modeled in society. It tends to be that we have to literally go out and figure it out on our own. Find podcasts like yours, find books, find, other people who potentially are not doing just the rewards punishments thing, who are breaking out of that reactive pattern, who are not using power over and are instead trying to find power with, and how to acknowledge, see, hear, and understand the other person. So that's a skill, to be able to see the presenting problem, which we call it the tragic expression of the unmet needs. If we take a couple of things for granted, one of them is a lot of people mistake that the catalyst of a feeling that's arising, something that happens, catalyzes an experience inside, and they believe that the catalyst is the cause of that experience. And then they blame the catalyst as if they created the experience internally for them, which is, of course, not true. It
Right.
catalyzed, but it's not the cause. So when we know that one cornerstone, we can begin to reflect on our own victim blame consciousness, how we're not being responsible for our own feelings and needs, how when we're activated by something that a child or an adult child or someone else says maybe about us, that we then have something occurring internally that we are not able to explain to ourselves because nobody helped us. And so we just fall back into the pattern of, you make me feel, which of
Right.
course is not possible. Nobody else makes us feel anything. So that one big thing right there is one of the main things that we can do to help ourselves to become more responsible for tending to our inner world, recognizing that the feelings that are arising may have been catalyzed by something someone said or did or behaved in a particular way. But if there were
Right.
100 people in the room, every one of us would have a different experience of it. And knowing that truth, that each and every one of us would have responded to the catalyst differently, we can recognize that it doesn't cause anything other than it ignites something internally. And for all of us, it's different.